Hello guys, so this is an abandoned cart recovery system responsible for recovering up to 15 to 22% in abandoned carts from customers. So if you're in the e-commerce space and you own a Shopify store, you have this experience where customers visit our store and add items to cart and immediately check out without making payments. If you're not smart about this as a store owner, this leads to money leaks. We have lost in revenue and sales, because most customers might just leave their items in their cart and never come back to make payments. So if you choose to act the smart way by following up customers on their abandoned carts, as a business owner or an operations team, you would have to do certain things manually. Certain things like having to log into your Shopify store to check abandoned carts. You'd have to copy details into spreadsheets. You'd have to try to figure out who's what messaging. You'd have to write a personalized email outreach. You'd forget to follow up or follow up too late. You'd accidentally message someone who has already made a purchase or come back to clear their cart. Or most times you could even give up because the manual process is time consuming. So what this automation aims to solve is detects checkout instantly when customers check out without making payment. The system is also responsible for cleaning and syncing customers plus carts data, validations and making sure everything is in synchronization. This system checks if they've already made a purchase or their carts are being cleared. The system also sends personalized messages with email and WhatsApp, as WhatsApp is also proven to high conversion than that of email, but we have the two anyways. Both lead to high conversion, literally. So this system also waits, follow up and stops automatically when a customer with an abandoned cart has been converted. And also this system tracks everything without guesswork, everything on autopilot. I'll just go ahead to walk you through how everything is set up and how everything works. Alright, so before I dive in to explain how everything works here, I'd like to bring a few things to your attention. First is my database. I am using Google Sheets here as my database. This necessarily doesn't have to be Google Sheets for you, except you use Google Sheets to run your operations, then that's fine. Outside that, you can use any database of your choice. Could be Airtable, could be Postgres, could be Supabase, literally any database of your choice. And in this database, I have 4 different sheets here with different functionalities. So the checkout data that I'll be receiving from my Shopify store, I cannot bundle the entire checkout data I'll be receiving from my Shopify store into one sheet. This is going to cause chaos, it's going to cause oversight, no proper readability. So it is best practice to segregate the data I would be receiving from the checkout data into different sheets for readability and keeping our database organized. So in this first sheet, we will be recording checkout data like the checkout ID, the customer's ID, the total price, the status, the recovery URL, and the created at, which is the timestamp this checkout was created. We have the checkout items, which records checkout ID, which records items in the customer's cart, which has the checkout ID, product ID, variant ID, and the quantity, the unit price. And we also have the customer's sheet here, which is responsible for recording customers' data from the checkout data. We also have the notification log, which is responsible for logging anytime we send out personalized outreach messages to a customer. And I would also like to bring your attention here to my Shopify store. So this is my Shopify store integrated with NetN. So if you'd be using this solution, this would have to be integrated with your Shopify store. So back to the flow. So in this flow, right, we have four sections, or this flow is divided into four sections. We have the first section, which is connected to my Shopify store and listens for checkout events when they occur. So when a customer checks out, this webhook receives that checkout data and transforms it and passes it to this AI agent, which is responsible for validating, checking, synchronizing, and making sure that our database is in sync and organized. So when a checkout is received, we are checking our database if the checkout data and the customer record exist already. If it doesn't, we want to add it as a new row, or if it does, we want to update the row that has been changed. Maybe a customer added extra items to their cart. We want to update the row that we have extra items and new prices. So after that is done in this first section, we structure the output from the agent, and we also put a wait node here. Standard practice, this is always set to 10 hours. This is enough time for the customer to go through other process, selecting items, adding items to their cart and checking out or making payments. So we don't just want to receive this data and start sending out personalized reminders. We want to wait for a while for the customer to complete the order process. So once this is done, we want to check if the customer's contact detail exists in the checkout data received. We are looking out for customer's email and customer's phone number, because this is what we'd be using to send out the personalized messages, so customers can recover or come back to clear their cart if they abandon their cart. So we want to check if the contact details exist. If they do not exist, this workflow ends, because if both phone and email address do not exist, we cannot reach out to the customer and send them customized messages. So we want to make sure that exists. After we've validated that, we want to check this endpoint, which is the checkout endpoint, again, to be sure if the customer checked out, if the customer cleared their cart or they left it abandoned. So we are calling this endpoint, this abandoned checkout endpoint. So this is my Shopify store. Under orders, we have the abandoned checkouts, which records checkouts that are abandoned by customers. So we are calling these endpoints to pull this record here. So we want to check if customer actually cleared their cart or they left it abandoned. Once this has been checked from the response gotten from here, we are going to extract the checkout ID and the customer's ID to validate the record we have in our database, if that checkout and customer data exists, if it's in sync with what we have in our record. So once this is done, if a customer actually checked out, then we want to update this checkout sheet. We want to update this status column to cleared. We want to change it from abandoned to cleared, which signifies that a customer has actually cleared their cart. But if not, then we want to go down this route, which, like I said, verifies that the record we have in our database is in sync with what we are receiving from this endpoint. After that has been verified, we move to the third section of this workflow, which has the email sequence flow. So I forgot to mention that in this first section, when we receive checkout data, this AI agent also classifies the customers into different intent levels. So we have the low intent customers who have low purchasing power of goods, say goods that are purchased under $50 and below. So we classify them as low intent customers. And we also classify the medium intent customers. These are customers with purchasing power These are customers who purchase goods or with purchasing power of $500 to $100 or $100 to $500. So we classify them as as a medium intent customers, and we have the high intent customers which purchase goods or who have purchasing power worth $1,000 and above. So this helps with sending out our personalized messages, and with this we can also get informed which customers are converting the most, if they are the low intent customers or the medium intent or the high intent. So this gives us proper insight as to which category of customers are converting the most or clearing up their carts the most. And for this final section, this is basically the same thing as the previous section, but this is scheduled. So after sending out the first outreach, we don't want to immediately keep sending out personalized messages to the customer. We want to wait for a set period of time, which could be after 24 hours, could be after 48 hours, whatever you choose. For this walkthrough, I set it to 5 seconds so we can experience how this entire workflow works in real time. So, but if it was production ready, this would be set to either 24 hours or 48 hours. So we can always come back and hit the checkout endpoint again to see if prior to the first outreach we made, the customer actually went back to clear their cart. So we are hitting this checkout endpoint again to check if the customer went back to clear their cart. If they cleared their cart, then we automatically update this checkout status to cleared. Else we want to start this reminder sequence again. So that's basically the explanation for this workflow. So I'll just go ahead to execute this workflow so we can all see how everything plays out. So I'll execute this workflow to make sure my webhook is listening for checkout events from my Shopify store. So let's head over to my Shopify store. So imagine this is your store and I am your customer. I come into your store and I see what I like. I select a random product. So let's add to cart and I check out. So when you check out, you're being brought to this billing and shipping page. So let's say the customer actually abandoned and left it here. So if we go back to the workflow, we can see that this workflow has been triggered and is running. So checkout event has been received. So the checkout data has been received now. We've transformed and cleaned it and passed it to the agent. So if I show you right now, this is the checkout data that has been received. So as you can see here, okay, the flow is still running, so let's wait for it to finish. So as you can see here, it has been passed on. This is set to 5 seconds, not 10 hours, so that we can see how everything works in real time. So we can see that it's been passed to this second flow, which checks the checkout endpoint to be sure that customer actually cleared that, to check if customer actually cleared out their cart or they abandoned it. And once this verification is done, then we hit the email or the personalized messaging flow. So back to what happens here. This is the checkout data that was received. As you can see, this is the body. We have the checkout ID. We have the customer's email. We have every data that I explained here. We have them in this checkout data. So it is best, like I said, best practice to segregate them, because you cannot bundle all this data and just dump them in the database. There's going to be a lot of confusion. So we only select the ones that we need. And okay, so like I said, after verification is done. So you can see I did not clear my checkout. I abandoned it here at the billing and shipping page. So this was recognized as abandoned, verified that this record is what we have in our database. So you can see here, this record has been automatically extracted and stored into our database sheets. We have the checkout items, we have the customers data, which as you can see here is available. So we want to use the checkout ID and customer ID to validate that that's what we have in our database. Then once this verification is done, we send out the notification messages to that customer. So as you can see here, it hits the medium intent customer route, which also checks if the phone number of that customer is present. If it's present, then we want to send out personalized WhatsApp notification and personalized email notification to that customer. So we have this AI here, which is responsible for drafting out personalized email messages to that client, and we have that logged into the log notification sheet once this notification has been sent out. So it just goes ahead to send the personalized messages through WhatsApp and Gmail. That's if the customer's phone number exists. If it doesn't exist, then we send out only personalized email to that customer. So this would be the same thing that would happen if we had a low intent customer. Then the same thing would happen if we had a high intent customer. So that's it for this flow. Okay, the next part I'll be walking you through is this final part, which is the scheduled part. So after sending out the first outreach messages, we want to wait, like I said, for a set period of time and come back to check the checkout endpoint, which I showed you here. We want to check these checkout endpoints to be sure that this recovery status is actually cleared, which means the customer actually came back to clear their cart. So we want to come back here after a certain period of time to hit this endpoint again. So I'll just set this up to get triggered. So since this is set to 5 seconds, this is going to get triggered immediately. So as you can see, this endpoint is being hit again. Validation, once validated, triggers the outreach sequence. And I failed to show you the message that was sent to the customer. So as you can see, this is it. This is saying, "Hey Mike, we noticed you left something behind in your cart. Your checkout is still available, and you can complete your purchase of $600 whenever you are ready. If you need any help or have questions, just let us know. You can return to your cart and finish checking out here with this checkout URL, recovery URL, which leads the customer back to this very point to come back and clear their items." So that is that for the scheduling part. So the next part I'll be walking you through is what happens when a checkout has been cleared. So back to our store, I'll just go ahead to clear my my cart. So I'll just fill in my name, which is Mike, and Doe, and I'll choose a random address here. So I'm going to choose a random address here. This fills out automatically. So this is a test store. This would fill out automatically, and I'll just fill in my card details. and my security code, and I'm going to make payments now. As you can see here, my cart has been cleared and order confirmed. So I have paid for the item in my cart. So if we go back to the workflow, and let's say this is set at 24 hours or 48 hours, so after that time duration, this workflow is triggered again. So let me trigger it. This workflow is triggered again, and it hits the checkout endpoints to actually check if the customer, prior to the outreach sent to that customer, if the customer actually went back to clear their cart. And as you can see here, it came through this route. So this route checks if the customer actually cleared their cart. Then we want to update this sheet, like I mentioned, to update the status to cleared. So basically that's how everything works. So if I did not clear my cart, it would go through this process again and send out another outreach reminder to the customer until they come back to clear their cart and stops the workflow. So that's it for this operation. If you do not understand anything here, please do not fail to reach out. And if you're in the e-commerce space and you are looking to implement this workflow to your store, also please do not fail to reach out. I'll be open to discussing how this can be integrated with your Shopify store. So let's say you own a Shopify store and your store is meant to do $100,000 per month, and you have over 70% in cart abandonment. With this workflow offering you 15 to 22% recovery, say 30% of your customers go back to clear their carts, we are looking at roughly $35,000 to $51,000 per month recovered in revenue and in sale. That's a sweet spot recovery. To me, that's better off leaving money on the table. So yeah.